The Botcast. What was impossible is now possible. Don't resist it, embrace it.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Botcast. This is the first episode of the Botcast podcast. My name is Dr. Andrew Timms. I'm going to be one of the hosts of the podcast. I'm certainly not the brains behind the operation. I'm going to be here essentially interviewing my partner, who is certainly the brains behind this operation, which is Daniel Lyon. Daniel, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everyone. So that's right, I'm the brains, and I guess that must make Andrew the beauty.
I like the sound of that, buddy. I like the sound of that. And so what we're going to be diving deep into in this podcast is about bots. Not too many people are aware of bots. Not too many people understand what they do, or anything really, because it's been such a new introduction to the online space. And I suppose that's where it's probably a really good place to start with you, Daniel, is saying, like, how long have these even been available?
Well, I guess at first what we need to do is really define what we mean by how long what's been available, in the sense that, I mean, Google is a bot. And so Google's been available for so long, it's not funny. There's been certain elements of bots in one way, shape or form pretty well since the internet has become available back in 96. But more specifically, the customer service bots, FAQ bots that we're seeing now inside the Facebook Messenger platform in particular have only been available for the best part of a year. A little bit over that, Facebook launched it, I think it was at their F7 summit. And then since then, it's kind of gathered a bit more steam to the point where then Facebook opened up their API so that instead of building them inside the Facebook developer tools section, people could actually, through API, build it using third-party integrations like what we're doing here ourselves. So WeChat had it before that. Everything always starts in China, as we know. So
Exactly.
They make everything. They've been using them for years and seeing some tremendous, incredible success with bots in that way. And I think Mark Zuckerberg's just taken it from there and gone, well, if it's working so well in China, how much better could we make it by opening it to the world?
Yeah, exactly. And really, I suppose when we talk about opening it to the world, it really makes it one, doing it inside the Facebook developer platform is really a platform where only really people who know what they're doing can really build something like this, where opening it with the API and using third-party integration really opens it up to most general computer users to be able to create something.
Right, exactly, that's it. And the fact of, Facebook just did pass their 2 billion user mark. They had their birthday the other day celebrating that. And so with 2 billion users, 67% of them are currently using Facebook Messenger. You've got a good proportion of the world in the fact that when you cut out China from being on Facebook, that takes out a good couple of billion. And when we've only got 7 billion, 2 billion users is a third of the world's population almost. Take out China and the rest of the population that doesn't have access to the internet, 2 billion almost does sum up the entire, at least Western world as we know it. And with 67% on Facebook Messenger, it's a lot of people that you have access to. And that's exactly why Facebook has opened it up, to be able to allow that access, to be able to better leverage it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get rid of some of the confusion for a lot of people, because it is brand new and a lot of people don't really know what it is. So what actually is a bot?
Well, a bot is really just a series of information that is stored somewhere, just like a website. It's just that instead of, when you go to a website, thinking of it in that manner, you go to someone's website, you could click on a menu button and it's going to show you a whole landing page full of information that you've got to read. And that landing page could be who knows how long. The average landing page, I think recently reading, was 7 times the length of your screen. So you'll scroll down 7 times before you get to the bottom of it. Now, that's a lot of information to put in, and people don't want to sit there reading it or skimming through it, and then they generally would tend to then just go, well, I don't want to look for information, I'll just jump on customer support. But customer support's not there, and they often just get saying, hey, go check it out, it's on our webpage here, which of course repeats the cycle. So the bot is taking all of that information, putting into small little chunks where the person can now ask specifically for the information. It's using keyword analysis to pick up the keywords from the questions so that it can then run that through the filters, figure out, well, since they've asked this keyword, they're looking for this bit of information, I'll send that only. So they're only getting one paragraph. So effectively, you could be using all the information from your website. It's just delivering it in smaller chunks so that it's giving the user exactly what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and it can be done in a more conversational way and integrated with your FAQs and your support network as well, so that way it can at least do most of the support, just like we do when we ring our telephone or internet company and you sit on the call waiting and then you speak to the robot. If you would like this, press 1. If you'd like that, press 2. Pre-qualifying you before you get to the agent, just in case you don't have to, so it cuts out work there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not only the fact that people have to write in the inquiry, like there can be artificial intelligence and AI built into it so people can write what they want to be looking for and you can give them the answer, but also it's you really maybe explain the whole menu. So there's a block of information that comes up and then there's some menu items that will go to particular bots that you can actually lead people through. So you're not actually having to get the person to write the particular information or wonder what they want to know. You can actually run them through the story that you want to know. Maybe just touch on that for a sec.
Correct, yeah. And that's perfect from a marketing perspective, because as we know with marketing, you always want to lead your buyer or your customer down a certain road. You don't want them to just have to randomly figure out, what do I want? You want to kind of lead them to the best destination for you and for them. So by creating menus and buttons and being able to deliver certain content, and then rather than just leave it blank at the end of that block of information, you've given them something, rather than wait for them to now say, okay, what else can I think of to write into this bot? You can then prompt them with a question, would you like this, yes or no? And they can simply click the yes button or the no button, and then that way you deliver the next bit. Or you could say, would you like to find out more about X product? Or you can give them a series of buttons where they've got 3 buttons, and it's like, perhaps you'd like to see our FAQs, and there's 3 FAQs there listed, where they can then, there's now interest piqued, because they go, well, if I don't click the button, I'm not going to know what's on the other side of that button, and I want to know now because of human nature and the way psychology works. So it's a fantastic way from a marketing perspective to lead your buyers down a journey by using buttons and responses that require or solicit an action from the user.
Yeah, absolutely. And really and that's the whole point of us doing this podcast, is what you are able to do and integrate into a bot is pretty much endless. And we'll be delving into that as the episodes go by. But
yeah, exactly.
Basically, I suppose to finish this one, the last little thing is, why would you want it? Like we've briefly explained roughly what a bot is, but why would people want a bot? What's the power of it?
Yeah, well, the power of it, look, from a business owner's perspective, it really just leverages your time 10 times. And, that comes down to the fact that if you can have your users get all the questions and answers they need without needing to speak to you, they've gone through to Facebook, clicked on send a message. If they can get their messages answered instantly for them, it's a win for them, but at the same time, it's a win for you because you didn't have to be there to answer it. You can deliver more information. So there's certainly number one. Number two is that, as I said, it's best for the user because they get to have their questions answered. We're moving into a world where we've got self-service everywhere. Even in the supermarkets, you can go through the self-service section and check out yourself. And through recent polls, it was something like 70 or 80% of consumers expect a self-service portal now from a business. So it's what they want as well. But the most important reason why you would want a bot is simply from that marketing perspective of what you can do, where we've always talked about statistics in the marketing industry being around the whole, you pay for 100 clicks through an ad, you send them to your website, you hope that somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 10% will click through to your opt-in and give you their email address, because we all know that the money is in the list, the power is in the herd, and so you want to capture their email so that you can continuously market to them. But we've got an understanding that we get between 5 and 10% if we're lucky, and then we'll convert maybe 20% of them into customers. So we're talking about 1, maybe 2% out of every 100 will become a buyer, and you have access to remarket to on an ongoing basis. With a bot, the minute they touch your bot, you've got access to them. So now when you have 100 people click through to your bot to use your bot, you have 100 people in your bot that you can remarket to. It's no longer a 5 to 10%. It's now it's a 100% of people in your bot you've got direct access to that you can market to. And instead of thinking about the 20% open rates because it's sitting in the bottom of their email inbox or they used a fake one, with a bot, it comes right through on their Facebook Messenger. So they're going to open it because it's just like getting a text message. We always open them. We don't just leave them sitting there. So the open rates are 80% plus which is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to email marketing. You'd dream of getting an 80% open rate.
Exactly.
The Facebook Messenger can do that. And then, of course, that's going to lead to higher conversions because if you still only sit on your standard 20%, you're now looking at 20% of 100 rather than 20% of 5.
Exactly.
So it's a huge difference. And that's why everybody in any business would want a bot, is because of the online marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome. That gives people a bit of juice to want to know more. And if you don't want to know more after that, you're pretty crazy. So
get out of business.
Exactly, because this is where it's all going. So awesome. Well, that's the end of episode number 1, and hopefully that gives you a bit of juice to want to know more about this and how do you do it yourself and what's possible. And so we'll be delving into all those types of questions. So thanks everybody for listening. We greatly appreciate it. If you can go on and rate and review and subscribe to the bot, that would be fantastic. And we'll see you on episode number 2. Thanks, Daniel.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you for listening. If you value your life, you won't keep this a secret. Subscribe, rate, and review, or we will find you.